Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is long overdue. This video was meant to go out on the 27th of August 2025, but I've been quite busy, and as I like to say, it's better late than never. So, without further ado, welcome to Conversation 34. Jesus doesn't have an expiry date or an expiration date. Ever since I was a little girl, I've always been searching for answers to life's biggest questions, like what's the point of it all? Why are we here? And who is God? I've always believed in God. I've always believed there was some sort of higher power, but I've never truly known who God is. And I think I know since April this year, I've been given a glimpse of who the true God is, to me, anyways, and in my opinion and my spiritual journey. So I went on a quest to find some answers to these big questions, and somehow at every turn it pointed me to Jesus, which he declined and rejected time and time again. I was baptized as a baby, but I wasn't necessarily raised in the church, nor did I have an obligation to attend church. I was free to explore all areas of spirituality, and so I did. I found out very fast that simply thinking positively doesn't work. And the law of attraction only works sometimes and for some people. And then finally, the latest spiritual understanding I came across were the three principles, which I've also spoken about on my YouTube channel in earlier videos. But I later discerned for myself that the foundation of Sydney Banks's discovery of the three principles are simply cognitive behavioural therapy. It talks a lot about thinking and behaviours. But if you want to know more about that, just let me know in the comments below and I'll make a video dedicated to just that and how I've come to the discernment that the three principles are very similar to cognitive behavioural therapy, which is CBT. Um, we do not have to be affected by the outside world. In fact, other people, places, and circumstances cannot make us feel happy or sad, or any emotion for that matter. We can feel all sorts of emotions no matter what is going on around us. That's a sneak peek to to what I discovered in my own meditations of what three principles really are and what they mean to me. And whilst deeply realizing that my emotions are normal and not a direct reflection of the outside world has had a massive impact on my quality of life. And it's really helped me to truly, deeply love myself and others. It didn't really quench my thirst for life's big questions. So, what's the point? Why are we here? And who is God? For 7 years, I believed in the universe and that it had great power to move us humans. And if only we aligned with it, then we could manifest all the riches in the world. This eventually expired, and I was back on the search for eternal rest and peace once again. From 2018 until recently, that's another 7 years, which has relevance later on. I believed that God, the universe, the power behind life, and any other word you can give, the higher power was all one thing, interconnected, and that we, us humans, were intertwined with this great power, this all-knowing God, and that somehow we were one with God, that we are God, and yet we're not. Something didn't quite sit right with me. I still felt unsettled and not totally at peace. Jesus seemed to keep popping up in areas of my life that I least expected. And when I heard a spiritual teacher refer to Jesus as a metaphor, I knew in my heart that that wasn't true. And so I cried out to Jesus for the first time ever. And he responded as clear as day, the truth behind the cross, the death, and the resurrection, and the sacrifice. Once again, I have been led back to Jesus. Unlike coping mechanisms or spiritual teachings, other spiritual teachings, Jesus will never fail. Jesus will never expire. And this isn't to say, don't use coping mechanisms that you've learned from mainstream therapy or, you know, anything you've learned from a spiritual teacher that has been helpful and beneficial to your life. It's not saying dismiss it all. There is just something deeper about Jesus. So I'll continue. Jesus will never fail, and Jesus will never expire. The reason I have found personally for mechanism or spiritual teachings, the reason for their expiry date, their expiration, is because they lack the essence of truth. They lack the one living God from the beginning and in the end. They lack Jesus. Jesus is the Omega and the Alpha. He is the beginning and the end of the story. And in the middle, he is there too. And when you put truth at the center of your life, it it has this essence of just a firm foundation. It's like an iron steel. It's just not going anywhere. It's not going to erode. Um, it's not going to rust and I'm thinking of like a wooden materials. It will just break down in a storm, in the weather, in the extreme weathers. Jesus isn't like that. He's a lot stronger. And so many spiritual teachings are close to the truth, and some of them even touch on the teachings of Jesus, and yet they don't fully grasp the magnitude of who Christ really is. Even I cannot do that, for I am merely human. But with God's strength, power, and wisdom, I can thrive in this lifetime, and I can attempt to share the magnitude of Jesus Christ and his sacrifice. And you can thrive too, and you can get to know Jesus too, and you can get to know the truth of who God really is for yourself. This isn't for me to say, believe in what I believe. This is an invitation to do your own exploration. Read the Bible if you've never read the Bible. Attend a church if you've never attended a church, and really like just do like see it as an experiment on if you have a spiritual quest to know who God is, to know who you are, and you've been on this journey, and like me, you've been on this journey for a long time. All of these videos, all of these conversations is exactly that. It's a conversation, it's an experiment to look deeper in to the realm of spirituality and to find out the truth and where that truth lies. Because when I look into all the spiritual teachings I've come across, Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, and I think she's also got a book called Ask and It Is Given. All of that is from the Bible. All of that Jesus said first. Um, you know, Jesus says, "Come to me and I will give you rest and I will give you peace." And when we come to Jesus, and when I came to Jesus, that's exactly what happened. Rest and peace was restored. Um, Even this video, for example, this video is over a week late. I would have been all over the place and frantic and thinking that's so bad and I can't, be late on my video. And now I'm just calm. I know it's perfectly fine. And this video is coming out at the right time it's supposed to come out. And and I do believe that I owe that to Jesus because that's where my peace comes from and my rest. So one last message before I end this conversation is no one is left out of the kingdom of heaven. This is for everybody. It's not just for me. It's not just for people who are already Christian or born into Christianity. This is for everyone. So if you are interested, if you are ready, message me, email me, or just do your own exploration, your own experimentation on who Christ really is. I hope you all have a blessed day, and I will see you again very soon in my next audio. Um, and then again in probably a week's time for my next video. They'll be quite close together this time. And then from then on, from the next audio, there'll be regular audios and videos every week. So you get a video and then an audio and so forth. So wishing you all the best. Have a beautiful day wherever you are, and feel free to comment below this video with any questions or queries, any areas if you want me to dive a little bit deeper, or if you've just genuinely got any questions. And again, if they're personal, don't worry about being anonymous. You can just email me and it won't be shared. Your name and details and things like that won't be shared on YouTube. Lots of love. Bye for now.